So friends, we are taking up today fire insurance. In fact, right from the basics of the fire insurance, you must understand that all the basic principles of insurance are applicable to fire insurance. Reason being, the situation differs product to product. So for example, in marine insurance, a survival interest is not required at the time of insurance, while it is compulsory at the time of claims. But in fire insurance, all the principles are applicable equally and at both the times. Means the principle of utmost good faith, insurable interest, proximate cause, and indemnity. So when the principle of indemnity is applicable, that means both of its corollaries are also applicable. Corollaries means subrogation and contribution. So this is one big non-motor portfolio where all the basic principles are simply applicable. Now, as far as policies are concerned, there are plenty of policies. Let us see. Is this visible to all of you? Anybody can confirm? Okay. So let us have an idea. Since April 2021, first three policies were introduced by the IRDAI. First three means Bharat Gृह Raksha, Bharat Sukshma Udyam Suraksha, Bharat Laghu Udyam Suraksha. These are the policies which were designed, developed and introduced by IRDAI. These are the policies which are uniformly applicable to all the general insurance companies of India. These are the policies which have come into force from 1st April 2021 for and up to the sum insured of 50 crore in commercial segment. As far as residential house is concerned, there is no limit on sum insured. But for commercial purposes, the sum insured limits are there. And still, this fire insurance refers to the standard fire and special peril policy. That means that policy is still continuing, it is not obsolete. This is not discontinued, this is also in force, but for over and over the sum insured, over and above the sum insured of rupees 50 crores. As far as the subject matter of fire insurance is concerned, you will see everything related to properties. For example, buildings, plant and machineries, equipment and accessories, furniture, fixtures and electrical fittings, pipelines, utilities and tanks. These are all coming under the category of property and they are all subject matter of fire insurance. Not only that, any kind of goods or storage is also covered. Say for example, raw material, semi-finished material, finished materials, they are also covered. Maybe they are lying in the closed go down or open go down. That means these all are subject matter of fire insurance, and the fire insurance provides a wider coverage and aspect of the coverage as well as the subject matter. So when the IRDA introduced these policies, they made many changes in the coverage, sum insured, inbuilt additional coverage, innovative coverage, and with a little difference between both of them. The fire word itself is very ambiguous unless it is properly defined. Because fire could be in any shape, maybe in the shape of a smoke, self-heating, ignition. So it has to be defined. In insurance parlance, fire means there is actual ignition. Fire is purely accidental or fortuitous. Means it is not deliberately caused by anyone. And there must be something on fire which ought not to be on fire. Means something that is in the safe condition today is on fire. In that case only this policy will cover the risk. Something which is already on fire, that cannot be covered because that is a certain risk that has already taken place. So fire is a big word in the fire insurance policy because as far as the scientific definition is concerned, it says it's a self-sustaining process of rapid oxidation of a fuel which produces heat and light. That means again, this needs scientifically three things. One is fuel, means any material, any sort of material. Then the oxygen, and then certain degree of temperature. Then only the fire can take place. So as far as the subject matter is concerned, it could be solid or liquid. Solid, liquid, vapors, gases. In solids again, wood, fabric, synthetic material, packing material, they are all susceptible to fire. Any sort of chemical can catch the fire. So all these are subject matter of fire insurance. Fire not only to the things which are already burnt, but during the fire and fire extinguishing process, even during the fire extinguishing process, if there is any damage or loss, that is also covered under the fire policy. Say for example, a fire brigade is there, that is extinguishing the fire by spreading the water. So water can further damage the properties and the materials and even the storage. Property demolished by fire brigade is also covered. Damage done by firemen in execution of their duties is also covered. Losses incurred by insured in attempting to check the progress of fire or to save the property is also covered. Damage to property during removal from a burning building is also covered. And damage due to falling of walls as a result of fire is also covered. That means during the process, whatever damages are further caused, that doesn't come under the category of aggravation because they are the part and parcel of the fire extinguishing process. So where the conditions are fulfilled, there is a damage by fire, whether the fire itself or by heat or by smoke generated by it is covered under the fire policy. And these are also considered as covered under the fire policy. But when we are giving a fire policy to any of the proposer, you have to seek the brief detail on these points. Because this will classify the risk according to factors affecting the risk. For example, construction of a structure, occupancy, nature of flooring, height, floor and wall of opening, exposure, lighting, heating and power, connections, place or situation, protection, and if at all there was a loss in the previous history, that also. These are all important every component of this chain is important. Say for example, suppose height. Now the height is 18 floors of the building, and on all the floors commercial activities are going on. This has to be rated according to that height. Also place or situation. It is situated at such a place where even the fire brigade cannot enter. The risk has increases. Risk is higher. And the basic fund of the insurance is higher is the risk, higher is the premium rate. That means every component of this classification chain is important. Now the IRD has taken certain appreciable step in modifying these policies, because they have made this policy simplified. The other policy was very complex in nature, that was not providing the complete coverage, that was giving room for mis-selling of the insurance policy. There was no clarity of coverage, and there was no standard pattern for deciding this sum insured. All these drawbacks have been covered in these two commercial policies. Additionally, their policies can be given up to the sum insured of 50 crore only, because these two policies are there for commercial purposes, and these are up to the sum insured of 50 crore only. Over and above 50 crore, again the standard fire and special peril policy will be given. That will be the ditto same policy without any changes incorporated by any authority. There is no change in the standard fire and special peril policy. Changes are there only in these two policies, which have come into force from 1st April 2021. And they are uniformly applicable to all the general insurance companies of India, except that the premium rate can differ, the add-on covers can differ. Otherwise, the terms, conditions, wordings, clauses of the policy will be ditto of all the general insurance companies, because the wordings are same as decided in the tariff or as laid down by the IRDA. So one more option is there, because as per the customer's demand, insurance companies have introduced the umbrella policies or the package policies, where the number of sections are included in accordance with the convenience of the customer, to provide them the flexibility to choose the coverage according to their need and affordability. There again you will find the fire section is there, and the fire section is mandatory almost in all the package policies of the general insurance companies of India. That fire section is mandatory. Additionally, there could be minimum number of sections, that could be 2 or 3, whatever it is. All the general insurance companies are doing the same practice. Why? Because different segments, different verticals are requiring different kind of policies. But they don't want to spend much time, much paperwork, no. Provide us one single policy where we can select the sections according to our suitability. That facility is available in the package policies. So we have got plenty of package policies as on date, because this is the demand of the customers. Say for example, business protection policy, Sri shopkeeper insurance policy, Sri office care insurance policy, Sri hotel and restaurant policy, Sri education shield insurance policy. Surprisingly, in all these policies, section 1 is fire insurance, and that is mandatory. So customer has to take it. Without taking this section, policy cannot be given. Additionally, the minimum number of sections has to be opted. Important thing is, when the customer is taking package policy, there again the fire section is there. So which fire policy will be applicable here? That question is decided by this parameter. If the sum insured is 4 and up to 5 crore rupees, the Sukshma Udyam Suraksha policy would be applied. Sum insured is exceeding 5 crore but not exceeding 50 crore. Laghu Udyam Suraksha policy will apply. Over that, external fire will come into picture. And this exercise will be done by the software itself. You don't need to make any extra effort for that. Only thing is sum insured is written in the proposal form that it is sum insured and accordingly the policy will be issued. Say for example sum insured is 5 crore 50 lakh. Laghu Udyam will come into picture. Sum insured is 50 crore 50 lakh. External fire and a special peril policy will come into picture. So that is the way all the policies are comfortably issued by all the general insurance companies. Again, the subject matter of all these policies is very wide because the risk may be industrial risk or non-industrial risk. In a non-industrial risk, where there is no output, no manufacturing, no turnover is there, still some sort of work is there. That is to provide the services. For example, a hotel industry is there, office is there, shop is there, hospital is there. They are also rendering their services. And if it is a manufacturing unit, that means there is a turnover, product, output is there. Maybe it's a paper, it's a cloth, it's a metal, it's a board, it is electrical, whatever it is. Additionally, the storage risk is also part of this policy, and storage could be in open or in godown. Any material is subject to insurance under this policy. And even utilities and tanks are also part of it. So the policy has come into force with enhanced number of perils, that is 14. In SFSP policy, it is 12 only. Deletion of perils is not permitted now. No company can delete any peril. Sum insured is up to 5 crore in Sukshma Udyam and 5 to 50 crore in Laghu Udyam. Compulsory excess is fixed. In Sukshma Udyam it is 5,000 in each claim. In Laghu Udyam it is 5% of each claim and subject to minimum of 10,000 rupees. Because the compulsory excess would apply in Laghu Udyam policy on the claim amount. So there the percentage will be applicable as 5%, but under no circumstances it can be less than 10,000 rupees. While it is fixed amount in the Sukshma Udyam, that is 5,000. In case of travel, the amount of compulsory excess may again differ. Minimum premium of the policy is 500 rupees plus GST for Sukshma Udyam and 1,000 plus GST for Laghu Udyam. These are the major changes. Simultaneously, the definitions of certain perils have been changed. Say, for example, fire peril itself has been changed and its scope has been enhanced in favor of policyholder. Because the risks which are add-on covers in the standard fire and special peril policy are merged into the fire peril without any additional premium. Like own fermentation, natural heating and spontaneous combustion. For them no extra premium is chargeable. They are part of fire peril now. Similarly, forest fire and jungle fire are the part of bush fire now without any extra premium. One more definition of impact damage has been changed, where the aircraft damage has been included, which is an independent peril of the external fire and special peril policy. And the major changes are made in inclusion of 3 new perils, that is earthquake, terrorism and theft. Earthquake is now part of the coverage. Terrorism is now in inbuilt coverage. no additional premium. Theft, which is a rare peril in the fire policies, is also covered, but not in isolation. If it is followed by any other peril, theft is also covered up to 7 days. So the coverage has been enhanced, expanded in favor of policyholder. The benefit goes direct to the policyholder. Moreover, it is confirmed now that no peril can be deleted from the policy right from the commencement of the cover to the expiry of the policy. No peril can be deleted. Either it is single peril or a set of peril, nothing. For example, earthquake is a single peril, or terrorism is a single peril. It cannot be excluded. Storm, tempest, flood, and inundation is a set of peril. It cannot be excluded. No company can exclude it. Now, these are the 15 add-on covers given in the standard fire and special peril policy, which are still there. But in these two policies, Sukshma and Laghu, almost all of them have been merged without any additional premium. Only whatever rate is applicable according to the market terms and conditions that will apply. Otherwise, the extra premium for each add-on cover will not be charged because they are part of the inbuilt coverage and they are automatically covered. Previous limits of the risk which were covered already have been increased because they were pretty old. Architect, surveyor and consulting engineer fee was pretty old. That was 3% of the claim amount since beginning. Now it has been increased to 5%. Removal of debris since beginning was 1% of the claim amount. Now it has been increased to 2%. And certain other add-ons like additions, alterations or extensions, temporary removal of stocks, cover for specific contents, start-up expenses, cost compared by municipal regulations, stocks on floater basis, preloaded software, stock calendar, they are part of the inbuilt coverage without any additional premium. So they are covered, already covered, not to be recommended to cover separately. They are part of the inbuilt coverage. There is a difference between these floater, because floater is one risk which is free in Sukshma Suraksha policy, where the sum insured limit is 5 crore only. But if it is given for the Laghu Udyam Suraksha policy, then the additional premium will be charged. Because floater is one risk where stocks at multiple locations are covered under the same sum insured, same policy. This is a very good facility to the policyholders who are normally manufacturers or the suppliers or the distributors who are having their pan-India network or the state-wide networks. So they are keeping their stocks at multiple locations to supply to their distributors, buyers. So in such a case, those stocks at different multiple locations will also be covered under the same sum insured at the same policy. If the total sum insured is 5 crore, nothing extra will be charged. If sum insured is exceeding 5 crore, then 10% floater will be charged. So that has been made clear because this facility is available to the Sukshma only. Then again, the sum insured pattern has been decided with complete clarity. For every kind of property, the sum insured will be on the restatement value basis. This confusion is still there in the standard fire and special peril policy. Restatement value basis has to be opted by the proposer there. Here, in these two policies, no question of option. The value has to be taken on the basis of reinstatement value only for every kind of property, that is building, plant and machinery, furniture, fixtures and fittings. Yes, value may differ as far as the stock is concerned, because the stocks could be in different shape, different positions. There is a marginal difference between raw material and stock in process. Further, there is a marginal difference between the stock in process and finished stock. So obviously the value has to be different. Raw material will be insured at the landed cost only, while the stock in process will be insured at input cost. Finished stock or the product or the output or the turnover will be insured at the manufacturing cost. There is again one more price, that is called contract price. That means price sold but not delivered. In that case, the sold price could be highest even comparing to the manufacturing cost. Manufacturing cost is suppose 1000 rupees and the selling cost is 1200, then obviously the selling cost is higher, and that is called contract price. So if there is any situation where the goods have been sold but not delivered, in that case contract price will be paid by the insurance company. But when you are insuring the properties on the reinstatement value basis, things have to be very clear in your mind that the reinstatement value should not be less than the replaced value or replacement value of the property. Either replacement value or reinstatement value on the rate of loss. That is most important. On the rate of loss may differ with the value on the rate of insurance also. For that purpose only the escalation clause has been designed. Additionally, this fire policy is also having the 4 innovative coverages, which are inbuilt, provided automatically, without any additional charge. That includes money insurance up to 50,000, documents such as deed, manuscript, drawings up to 50,000, computer program information and data up to 5 lakh, and personal effects of visitors, employees and directors up to 3 lakh. 3 lakh is again bifurcated into maximum 20 people and 15,000 rupees per person. These are 4 innovative covers which are included in both these policies without any additional premium. In the Sukshma Udyam Suraksha policy and Laghu Udyam Suraksha policy of all the general insurance companies, not the SGI specific. One more benefit, waiver of under insurance. Because the IRD has taken the pattern that the properties will be insured on the basis of reinstatement value, but in case the value differs by 5%, 10%, 15%, insured should not be penalized for that, and he should be given a waiver of 15%, up to 15%. Over and above that, the claim amount can be deducted from the amount can be deducted from the claim amount. That means the fluctuation of 5%, 10% is possible because hard and fast parameters of processing the value is not there. So 5%, 10%, 15% under insurance can be considered without making any deduction in the claim amount of the insured. Insured should not suffer the loss for his no fault. Because otherwise, if the 15% amount is deducted in a fire policy, that could be in millions of rupees. That can cause a loss to the insured in millions of rupees. So up to 15% it will be waived. Over 15% it will not In that case, the entire under insurance will be deducted from the claim amount. Maybe it is 17%, 20%, 25%, 30%. In that case, the insured has to lose the amount. So under insurance is one good thing which is favoring to the insured. Additionally, certain things are also provided in the policy like stock held in trust. This is providing the coverage for the motor vehicle garages or dry cleaners who are not having any goods of their own in their shops. But if it is damaged belonging to others, the insurance company will pay the claim now. Similarly, for additions, alterations or extensions, if they are intimated to the insurance company within 7 days after completion, insurance company will cover the rest. Because there will be increase in the sum insured also, so the under insurance will also not apply. If some marginal difference amount is paid as premium on the increased sum insured, the risk is covered. So both these policies are having almost similar pattern except few differences. Like sum insured is 5 crore in Sukshudam and 5 to 50 crore in Laghudyam. Compulsory excess is only 5,000 in Sukshudam while 5% or minimum 10,000 in Laghudyam. Startup expenses is 1 lakh rupees in Sukshudam or 5 lakh rupees in Laghudyam. Floater cover up to Sukshudam it is free, means up to 5 crores. Over and above that, 10% floater charges are there. And then the minimum premium is also different. But the insured is given a facility that even on any date during the currency of the policy period, he come to know that his value insured of his property is not adequate. He can give intimation to insurance company and pay the difference amount. Insurance company will increase the sum insured by passing an endorsement only. This is possible in increasing the sum insured as long as there is no claim on the policy. After that, it will be difficult. So that means up to 5,000 is the compulsory excess fix, but if there is any change required in that, that is not possible. So in addition to these changes, add-on covers are also changed now because insurance companies have got the add-on covers approved by IRDA. Whatever add-on covers have been filed by the insurance company, they are approved by the IRDA. So we filed 8 add-on covers and they are approved and we are selling them. Add-on covers are always recommended for sale because with the policy you can recommend the add-on covers, you will get the extra premium. Customer will get the wider coverage. So installment protection up to 50,000 per EMI is available, claim preparation cost is available, loss of rent is available. Additional expenses of rent for an alternate accommodation is there. These were the 4 add-ons approved for us in first instance. And thereafter again 4 more we got: accidental damage cover, involuntary betterment, expenses for loss minimization and escalation clause. Because there could be the fluctuation in the valuation of the property even during the policy period. Say suppose today I have taken the policy for 3 crore, but during the policy period after 7 or 8 months, there were an increase of 5%, so my sum insured has gone up. So to cover such a situation, escalation clause is taken by the policyholders and that provide coverage up to 25%. So automatically that escalated value will be covered and there will be no application of under insurance. Restoration of sum insured is also again an important part of this policy because Whenever there is a claim paid on the fire insurance policy, the sum insured is reduced by that amount. So to restore that amount, some difference amount of premium is paid, sum insured is reduced, just to avoid the underinsurance. This is again an important part. Now in this policy, even if you sell any package policy or an individual fire policy, the fire insurance will apply according to the sum insured of the policy. Each proposal has to be viewed by the underwriter at the support office, because the rate competition is very wide, market is volatile. So the proposals are rated and the quotations are generated from support office only by the underwriting department, and then only the policy will be issued. Now there are certain clauses in the policy which are still applicable with the Eastern Fire and Special Peril policy. On demand they are given. These clauses are still applicable. But in these two policies, these clauses are not required. Why? Because they have already been merged. So this is the fire insurance now, as on date. You have to keep in mind one thing only. That up to the sum insured of 5 crores, suits with them. 5 to 50, live with them. Over 50, you have to give standard fire and special peril policy. The changes made in these two policies are all favorable to the policy holders, because they are in the interest of the policy holders. Even innovative coverages are provided by the IRDAI, which have no additional cost, but they are not part of the fire policy normally. They are also given in these two policies. So whatever changes have been made by the IRDA, they are all favorable to the policy holders. Now if you have any questions, you can ask. Any doubts? Any doubts related to fire insurance? Because this is the policy which you have to sell, and this is the policy which is maximum in the demand, because every micro industry, small industry, SME sector, corporate sector, even offices, educational centers, for all this policy is useful. And fire insurance is one big portfolio of every general insurance company under the non-motor segment. Fire policy also provides an opportunity to sell some additional policies together. Say for example, fire plus burglary is a combination, fire plus FROP is a combination. But without fire policy, you cannot give the FROP. So fire is the basic policy that is always required by every segment, right from shopkeeper to the corporate. This is one policy. You have to understand the importance of it. If there is any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can just check your mail ID. I hope everyone has got the test paper. Anybody can confirm? Received or not?